Welcome back to Twisted Stitches. My name is Tammy. How's everybody doing? I have a tidbit for you guys today. Somebody asked me to show them how to attach granny squares using the single crochet method. That's the method I enjoy using. It is very beginner friendly and it also looks really cool in my opinion. I love the way it looks like everything's outlined like in a shadow box when you're done putting your blanket together. So let me tell you some of the things you're going to need to attach granny squares, and if you want to follow along, these are some of the things you're going to need. A crochet hook in whatever size yarn weight your yarn calls for. A darning needle to sew in the ends. A pair of scissors, of course, to clip everything. And some granny squares. And some yarn in whatever color you would like to attach your granny squares in. I'm going to be using white. I am not putting any white in these granny squares. This is going to end up being a lapgan type blanket for when my granddaughters come over, spend the night, or they're just sitting, hanging out with grandma, watching a movie or something like that, and they get cold. I'm so cold. So let's get on with it, shall we? So it's very, very simple. Hopefully we can get this done quickly for you guys. And let's see. We have granny squares, and you know when you're working a granny square, you work in a continuous circle or square or whatever you want to call it. So usually on a granny square, this here is your right side, the correct side facing up. And when you want your blanket put together, you usually want them all facing this way. You don't really want one being like that, and you can see that it's the wrong side. So what you're going to do is take your granny squares, put them together like that, and pinch them up just like that. I am going to start at the corner right here. Just stick your hook through any corner, and we're going to attach our yarn. So attach your yarn, cinch it down a little bit, there we go. Attach your yarn however you're comfortable attaching your yarn. And your first stitch is going to go directly into that chain space right there. And I just make one single crochet there. Then look for your next stitch right here. And then follow up with your next stitch right there. Put them through both. Single crochet. Go to your next stitch. Go to your next stitch, single crochet. You're going to go to your next stitch and your next stitch, single crochet. This is as easy as it can be. We're just going to single crochet both of them together, just like this. All the way down to the end. And when I come back, I will show you what we will do from there. So keep on lining up stitch for stitch, just like that, single crochet, until you get, I will meet you back here right before this chain space to help you show you what to do next. Okay guys, so we are at the end. I single crocheted all the way down, see, just like that. We started at this corner and attached stitch for stitch all the way down till this last stitch right there, see? Now I have the corner space left. So what I will do at that point is I'm going to do a single crochet right into that chain space. Then I am going to grab up, now this is your first row, so you need to have two This is going to be row 1, this is going to be row 2 right here. Row 1, row 2, whatever, however you want to do it. So think about how you want your squares to be put together. I'm going to have mine sitting like this. So these are the right sides facing up. You can see how they curl up a little bit, so it makes it pretty easy to indicate which way your squares are facing and which way is the right side. So here we go. I'm going to take these up just like this, and I am going to continue to join my squares. I'm going to put my hook right into that chain space, grab my yarn, we're going to pull through. You're going to cinch it up pretty good here, give it a little snug, and then just single crochet. Now this is attached, and I'm going to go 1 for 1 into the very first stitch right there, single crochet, into the very next stitch, and single crochet. The next stitch, the one right behind it that matches up, single crochet. This stitch, the one that matches up right behind it, single crochet. Now work that all the way down till you get to this chain space, and I will be right back. So I'm back at the chain space again. See right here, we've attached our granny squares right here. This is our first row. This is our second row. You would go and add your single crochet right in the chain space, just like that. And then if you need to go further, you bring in more granny squares. You're going to match them up however you want them to match up, remembering once again, that this is your first and second rows right here. So however you want your next set of squares to line up, you do this. So now, if I was going to continue on, I would do just like we did right back here. My granny squares are facing both in the same direction, facing on the right side, facing up. I'm going to snatch everything up just like this, enter into this chain space, pull up a loop in that chain space, snug it up a little bit just like that. There we go. Then we would continue on right from here, just like that. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm not going to do that. Hold on one second. I am going to show you guys what we're going to do afterwards. I'm just quick doing that. So now, okay, so you know how to attach row 1 and row 2, and you might be going, well, what do you do from there? And it's very, very simple. So that's all we would do at this point is we have row number 1, row number 2, they're already attached. You went all the way down, you fastened off at the end of your row. Okay, so we have 1 and 2 complete. The row is fastened off, it's secure, it's not going anywhere. Now we're going to attach rows 2 to rows 3. So you would do the same thing. Bring in your yarn. However you start your stitches or whatever. I'm just quickly doing this to show you guys. So I started my yarn. Now I will single crochet into that very first stitch and then continue on. Row 1 for 1. 1, 1, single crochet, the next one, single crochet, so on and so forth. When we come to the join, we single crochet into this join, then we come into this join, you bring in your new square from there, you bring your yarn over, you join, just like we did back here. So if you need to, you can rewind and see how we did the join again, you know, to help you out if you're getting a little bit confused. Hopefully I'm not confusing you. So then after we are all done attaching all the rows of squares, so we are completely done, we're happy, we've got a big, huge, long blanket. We're happy, we have the blanket, the length we want it, however many granny squares attached. Now we need to turn our blanket and start this way. So you start at the corner down here, start at your very first corner, going to attach our yarn however way you attach it. And now we need to go this way, down this side to attach. And each row is going to be attached separately. So you are going to go stitch for stitch, all the way down, just like we did going this way. Now we're just got to go this way, all the way down. And I will come back, I will show you what to do right here where your granny squares are joined in this direction. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we're at the point where we are going to be working into our chain space right here. So we are going to go and do our single crochet right in that chain space. Now you still have, this is actually a stitch now, so we are going to work underneath this stitch. You're just going to find a place to stick your hook, just like that, and put a stitch in there, crossing over. Then go right here to where your chain space is again. Do a single crochet and continue on. Oops, sorry. Continue on joining your squares, square, stitch for stitch. So that's all you got to do, guys. And you would just continue on going all the way down. You get to your chain space right here. You put a stitch in there. So you put your stitch in the chain space just like that. And you're going to put a stitch underneath the stitch going this way. And then go back now to your next set of squares. Put a stitch right in that chain space and continue on stitch for stitch all the way down. Keep doing that. You'll continue to do this row. So you continue to do this all the way down. When you get to the end of your blanket this way, you do the same thing. You tie off, clip your yarn, knot it off, and then go on to your next row and go all the way down. Make sure you're crossing over in the middle right here. Continue all the way down on that row, tie off. Go to your next set, go start it at the beginning, all the way down. Make sure you put a stitch right in the middle right here. Continue all the way down, stitch for stitch, tie off. So once you get all your squares attached, remember you're going to start at one end, attach your stitches, go all the way down, keep going until you've attached all your squares. Every row will have a beginning and an end, and you will tie off. And then going the opposite way, every row will have a beginning and an end, and you will tie off. And you just continue to do this method over and over again until all your squares are attached. So that's how you attach granny squares using the single crochet method. Very beginner friendly, very easy to do. You'll have tails at the beginning and the end of every single row in both directions. If you need to, rewind this as many times as you need to catch on. It's very easy to attach squares using the single crochet method. I think once you start doing it, you'll agree that it is a very easy method and it comes out lovely. I just love the way it looks. And when you do a border all the way around, like I said, you end up looking like you have little shadow boxes for each one of your squares that you made. I think it comes out really, really cute. So let me know what you think. I hope this helps you out. If you like my video and you found it useful or helpful, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And I will talk to you guys really, really soon. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye, guys. Love ya.